Hey, IDC family, welcome back for our Get to Know the Elders series. Glad you guys chose to jump on and watch one of these again with us. As a refresher, I am Ben. I'm one of the pastoral assistants here at Imago Day Church. And today we are joined by Daniel Stevens, who is one of the lay elders here at the church and has been for a few years now, which we just figured out coming up on 4 years pretty soon. And so some of you may have seen him around, but nevertheless, we wanted to have an opportunity to bring you before everyone, Daniel, and just give you a chance to share a little bit about your story, your family, and then give you a chance to share a little bit about some of the random items that we'll walk through at the end. So, yeah, that's always a good part. Just to get us started, I would love for you to kind of briefly tell us about how you came to know, believe in, and follow Jesus Christ.
Well, let's see. I'm 33 years old, and feels like I've been a Christian for about 33 years. I grew up in a Christian home. My parents were believers, and so I came to faith through their influence and their prayers for me, and that includes my grandparents as well. So I was just a kid. I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years old. I don't remember exactly the age. But and clearly didn't fully understand all the implications of my own sin and of the gospel, but knew enough. The Lord was gracious enough to open my eyes at an early age that Jesus is the way that we gain access to God. Jesus is the way that we go to heaven, and so I believed that, submitted to it, and was off to the races from there, really. You go through school and middle school, high school, and you succumb to certain peer pressures and things like that that I think sometimes make it difficult to discern. Was I really a believer at that time or not? And I had a seminary professor who said, with a similar story as mine, who said that he gave, when he became a Christian as a child, that he gave as much of himself as he knew to as much of Christ as he knew. And I felt like that was a really good description of not just of my story, but that's what happens in salvation, right? We give as much of ourselves as we know to as much of Christ as we know, and then hopefully we grow in both of those things as we are discipled I became a Christian as a kid, and grew up in the church my whole life. So,
Amen. Yeah. Hey, what a blessing! It's a great testimony to have. I think. One that has just as much value as those who've been saved.
I was actually not much older than my 5-year-old daughter is now, which is kind of terrifying to think about.
Yeah,
she's already getting to that point.
Yeah, beginning to ask questions and that sort of thing. Yeah, that actually just pretty naturally into kind of the next thing I wanted to touch on with you was just would love to just hear a little bit about a little more about your family. I know Lauren and you've been married for a few years now, and so would love to start out just even hearing about how you guys came to know each other, and maybe a little of your dating story, how you proposed, how many years you guys have been married, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, my wife and I met in 9th grade on the band bus during marching band season, and so we liked each other from that point. We started, dating in 9th grade, which by dating I mean our parents took us, to the movies or whatever. So we've been together for, at this point, about 19 years, but we've been married for 10 years this month, March 26th. It'll be 10 years, a whole decade. And it's been great, man. We grew up in the same town, obviously. And growing up in the same town, around all of our family, that was the only thing we ever knew until we moved up to Wake Forest for seminary. Back in 2011, and so when we moved up here, we didn't know anybody here, and so we really had to learn to rely on one another, and we grew a lot closer during that time. In 2015, we had our daughter, Natalie. She's 5, and then in 2019, we had 2 more girls that were placed with us through foster care. At the time, it was 15 years old and 13 months. And then they've been with us for a couple years now. So we got a full house. It's my wife and I and 3 girls. I'm outnumbered.
You're by quite a few. Absolutely, yeah. No, that's great to hear. One of the many families at the church here who have seen foster care as sort of a natural outgrowth of our commitment to Christ.
And that's exactly why we decided to do foster care. It's something that that my wife has always wanted to do, and I kind of came on board with that.
Yeah.
But then being at Imago Day and experiencing the value and the focus that we place on that as a church, and the resources that we have for that was, we felt like if we were ever going to do it, this is the best time to do it because of all that was available. And we have not been disappointed by the generosity of our friends at the church and just the church as a whole. We've seen the Lord provide for us through the church in so many different ways. This would be a 3-hour-long video if I told you about it all.
Yeah, no, that's huge. That's really encouraging here. Kind of on the note of the church, what would you say that you love the most about this body, this faith community here at Imago Day?
I think what I love the most is probably the corporate desire that we have to be faithful to the Scriptures. I think we do a lot of things well. I think that we do some things not so well, as any church, is true of any church. Of course, we're not perfect. But I think that desire to know the Scriptures, to love the Scriptures, and to allow the Scriptures to be our guide in faith and practice in everything that we do. And I think you see that, hopefully, in corporate worship and the way that we think about relationships and community and growth groups. To me, that's something that I have learned from during my time here, and now get to continue to learn from, especially the other pastors, serving alongside of them, and getting to kind of experience that, how well they handle the Scriptures and apply them to specific situations in the church and in pastoral ministry is something that I value very highly.
Yeah, and on the note, so you've 3.5, 4 years in pastoral ministry here at Imago Day Church, and so in that time, what would you say has kind of become that aspect of pastoral ministry that just really is the one that you zero in on as kind of a passion for you personally?
Yeah, a couple. One is I love the one-on-one times. So I served as a growth group leader, which was great. I love my time as a growth group leader, but having those pastoral kind of discipleship one-on-one, whether it's counseling or discipleship, mentorship, those type of things, is something that I really did not know that I would love as much as I have, as much as I do. And then another one is preaching, which is not something that I do very often, but I did do one of my 2 tours of duty at Southeastern. I say that in jest because I had a great time at Southeastern. It was hard. But I did one of them in THM in preaching.
Okay.
And so I got to study it and practice it a little bit. It's just something that I really I feel like I really enjoy. I think Liddell in Chariots of Fire said when he runs, he feels God's smile. I feel like when I preach, I feel like I'm doing what I'm meant to do, what I'm supposed to be doing. Doesn't mean I'm good at it. I'm not an Olympian preacher like he was a runner. But it's something that I really feel like I enjoy and that God's kind of made me to do. So
yeah, something that I speak for myself and many, I think, to say that we're blessed by the opportunities you do get to share with us. So I want you to know that for sure. Excellent. Well, yeah, it's a good snapshot, giving folks a little bit of an idea of your family, your background, and kind of what you do here at the church as an elder. And now we get to do some rapid fire questions to dig a little deeper. I say that jokingly. These are not incredibly heavy questions, yet they will show us something of you and your personality, which, that's always a good thing. So,
I don't know.
whether you think so or not, you're here and you're under the lights. So here we go. I think I know the answer to this first one, but are we doing movie popcorn or baseball game hot dog if given the choice?
I've thought about this question a lot. Not really.
Just with all your free time.
Yeah. Movie popcorn, I think.
Okay.
Movie popcorn.
Wow. I'm a little shook up.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I enjoy hot dogs too. It's not it's not like I don't know, movie popcorn.
I thought baseball would be the hook, but yeah, you just like to put the butter on there.
I just like the popcorn.
Something that's more unhealthy. I understand.
If I could have the movie popcorn at the baseball game, that's
you can do whatever you want.
done deal.
Yeah, this is your interview. When we're talking vacation spots, are we going to the beach or the mountains if Daniel and the family has the choice?
Vacation at the beach.
At the beach, okay.
Yeah, I would live in the mountains, but I would vacation at the beach.
Okay, yeah, good distinction. Yeah, a book, I assume, is that your main?
Yeah, a book.
Entertainment,
It's vacationing at the beach with a book.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have time to read while we're at the beach because the kids are going everywhere, and I'm trying to keep kids from drowning in the ocean and stuff. But
Yeah, it's more corralling.
I do enjoy the books at the beach.
Yes,
but
hypothetically.
I enjoy swimming in the ocean with the kids too. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome. Favorite movie?
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I find that movie hilarious in ways that most people probably don't.
I thought you were going to go really deep level there, but
No, well, I can.
No, that's good.
Yeah. So one of my favorite scenes in that movie is when Jenny, Forrest and Jenny are grown, right, and they go back to the house where all this bad stuff happened to her when she was a kid, and she just kind of breaks down and starts throwing rocks at the house. Finally breaks a window and then kind of collapses on the floor, and Forrest just walks and sits down beside her, and he says, "I guess sometimes there just aren't enough rocks." Which is just a great line because like he's so simple-minded.
Absolutely.
But is realizing that like sometimes there's just nothing you can do to fix the past.
Yeah, you went deep. That's good. Yeah. Favorite food?
Pasta.
Pasta. Okay. A certain type?
Anything, man.
Anything.
Anything with noodles.
Cool. Yep. Random skill that we might not know about that we can learn from you.
I don't know that it's necessarily random, but I do play the drums. I've played the drums since I was a little kid.
Okay.
I taught Brett how to play the drums, actually. Yeah.
Wow.
No, just kidding.
What a gift to the church.
Drums, bass guitar. Yeah.
Okay, both.
I enjoy playing.
Yeah, drums were what you played in the band, I assume,
I did.
in ninth grade
Yep.
when you and Lauren met. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the drummer's band. Dude. We know how that works.
That's right.
Dream job.
Dream job, man. You know, when I dream, I don't really think about jobs.
These are mutually exclusive terms.
I think if I had to do it all over again and pursue a career outside of pastoral ministry, I would love to play the drums for Broadway musicals.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in the pit, in the orchestra.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love that.
That's fascinating.
I did it a little bit through high school and college, and I just had so much fun because there's so many things that can go wrong in a theater production that it's just kind of
You like the pressure that
gets the
it
adrenaline
includes.
up.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Seems like a weird thing saying it out loud that it gets the adrenaline up, but it does.
Yeah.
I promise.
So you mentioned 2 tours at Southeastern. Before that, college, which I assume was in Georgia.
It was
What was your major there?
business management.
Business management. Okay,
Went
same.
to North Georgia College and State University.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've renamed it now because the name's just too long. But yeah, I did business management for 4 years and used that as a stepping stone to get to seminary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Night owl.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty much nocturnal at this point.
It's really like an acquired skill that you've honed.
I wish I was the opposite though.
Yeah.
I wish that I was an early riser because I feel like it's healthier and you get more done.
Probably.
But I've always been the type of person to stay up late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
And then last question from Georgia, Atlanta Braves fan.
Yep.
We've talked about that over the years. So when you think back through Atlanta Braves, the history of the team, your all-time favorite player?
All-time favorite. Well, I'd have to go Hank Aaron, right? Because he's the king.
Yeah.
I never got to actually see him play.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the guys that I grew up watching, Chipper Jones.
Chipper Jones.
All-time favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Spent his whole career with the Braves.
Mm-hmm.
Means a lot to the fan base and to the city of Atlanta. My first favorite player was David Justice.
Mm. Yep.
So, and then he got traded to the Indians, so he
Mhm.
couldn't be my favorite player anymore.
He had to be Dutchy at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So it was Chipper Jones from there on out.
That's good. I was hoping you would say John Rocker, but it's okay. Some of you will get that. Some of you won't. Excellent.
If you don't get it, just come ask me.
Just come ask Daniel. Yeah, now you have a talking point. So, well, excellent, man. Thanks for sitting down with us.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
And thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, the show. Oh, wow, we've really been upgraded. That's great. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. Really hope to see you again next time.